Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're waiting on me.
Are we good?
Yeah, we're good now. We were on and we went off, so I'm
Okay,
gonna
okay.
keep watching.
Zach?
Yeah, so we've been doing a lot of trainings here lately, doing some firearm stuff. And then a couple guys at some classes. Shop of the Cops coming up December 7th, so that's always a pretty big deal. Other than that, Chase, I guess officially is gonna start on the 19th of November, so we'll have good 6 weeks there. Get them all squared away hopefully, and then he can fix everything I screwed up for the last however many years. That's all I got.
Thank you. To know Jeff tonight?
No, he's at the.
Oh, he's at the.
And he said he didn't have anything.
Okay,
Couldn't wait.
crazy crashes. Yeah, a lot of air activity with. Youth center,
I don't see anybody.
okay, Main Street,
The Headlock, challenge grant is finished and closed, so that's done. It's all been paid out and they have finished that project. So that's good. The Tenderloin fry that we did for trick or treat night made over, just a little over $400, which is as good as we expected, but we learned a few things. People don't want to come to the square on trick or treat night to, buy tenderloins, no matter what it's for. So, we're gonna try to do that with something different later on. I met with Tommy Joe last week to talk about transformation strategies, that we have going on in the next year, just to kind of see if anything, collaborated with what you guys were doing. And then, we've started some fundraising for the Santa House. I don't know if we're gonna rehab the one we have or if we're just gonna build a new one. But we have a whole year to figure that out. We're gonna use the Santa House that we have now, for this year. And then next year we'll either completely rehab or we'll have a new one. So, lots of excitement about that. People do not want to come see Santa inside of a building. They want to see him in his house. So, that's gonna be the plan for the next year. And then we found out this past week that Main Street America will be here on September 10th in this coming year. I know that's a long ways away, but we have a lot of stuff to do to prepare for that. So that'll be our first.
I had heard that we're fundraising Santa, but, do we have a bucket outside the house that people can put money in? or-
Well, we talked about doing that and doing some, buckets at like different, Festival of Trees is all gonna go towards that this year.
Okay.
And we talked about doing some buckets. There's some extra events at, Mimi's Kitchen, like the cookie decorating that we're gonna put buckets out at. And we also actually talked about having extra weekends that people can come out and see Santa in the house, because we typically only do it that one weekend. Talked about doing it the weekends in between then and Christmas too. So, lots of talk and plans going forward. I think your wife is actually pretty excited to do some, fundraising for it since she likes Christmas so much. So, I know, weird,
Maybe you
right?
can get rid of a tree or two.
So I think there's a lot of excitement around, getting it out. So.
I have a question on the Hill
Maybe you could
grant.
just have a couple of elbows, just a suggestion.
You want to be an elf? Is that what you said?
Well, maybe, but listen to what I'm saying, okay? On the night of the parade, why don't we have 3 or 4 elves walking around with a bucket?
Oh, good idea.
And the would you like to give towards the new Santa house we're building?
I mean, we could put Santa's houses in as a float, and if they see it, they'll get one.
Yeah.
I guarantee you that.
All right, go ahead.
Hill Block grant, it's not actually 100% watertight. You and I have talked about this before. Can we get somebody to make sure that that final caulking is put in for those windows to keep that water and stuff out, or where do we go with that?
Main Street, Iowa came down and they actually did the walkthrough. I was gone.
Yeah.
So I wasn't part of the walkthrough, but, they awarded that it was completed and the payout's been done. So
But it's not completed, and you and I know that, and so does everybody else.
according to their, specifications that they had for the grants, they completed everything that they needed to complete for that. So
Maybe Justin has a copy and we can come and do it.
I hate to throw this question to Gayla, but do you have any idea who we can contact to get permission to caulk around the window so that water doesn't get in there? You're probably not involved in that situation, but I mean,
Main Street can, but
I think the city would have authority to do that, but I don't know. But I'm just saying, it bothers me that
It doesn't leak when it rains.
Oh, I don't know. On their building, yeah, I don't know.
It leaks when it rains, don't it? Is that what you're saying?
Well, go look around the windows. There's a 1/4 inch gap around a lot of big, very expensive windows. They just put shims in there to square them up. If it gets rain, well, in fact, we may have water in there for the last few days.
Okay,
Anyhow, it's a concern of mine.
anybody for DC?
So,
Okay. Consent agenda.
motion to approve.
Second.
Don,
Yes.
Earl.
Yes.
Dave,
Yes.
is Jennifer on?
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Moving forward with offering a development agreement with SKP Industrial.
Okay, so, I got all the questionnaires and everything done with both businesses on the agenda. I also met with Jenna from Allers and Cooney to talk through, if she had any ideas of what we should suggest. The only stipulation she says that we should do, if council wants to enter an agreement, is to make sure that we put the stipulation in that if TIF funds are allowed. So sometimes there might not be any available. We don't want to have to reimburse property taxes or do an abatement if there aren't funds available. So that was her only stipulation that she would advise, is making sure we have that clause in there. At the end of the day, we have two businesses. They're both on the agenda. One is doing about a $1.3 million project. The other one's doing about $300,000 to $400,000. It's my understanding the one out by the airport doesn't need as much utility upgrades. The new building obviously does. So, personally, my opinion with, Panos is, I think it'd be easier to do the utilities because we have that stuff on hand. As far as the materials, we can put that in the agreement. If you want to do an additional amount on the tax abatement, you could. We're looking at about 50,000 total and all the utilities for Stakey. Metal Wholesale already had a building up, so they didn't need a bunch of utility TIF reimbursements. So really, I guess I'm just looking at council to decide, do you want to enter an agreement with them? And if you do, what do we want to offer? Do we want to offer a dollar amount towards utilities? Do we want to do tax abatement? Do we want to do some of each or nothing at all? So the next step, like I said, is figure out what you guys want. Then the attorney types a bunch of stuff up and you'll have to review it and approve it down the road. So, like I said, the lowest one we've done, I think, is 27,000. The highest we did was M3 Fab at 130. You can throw out numbers. It's totally up to you, but
I thought we already decided this, the dollar amount previous
I think
meeting.
we talked about
So-
it.
We talked about it, but we didn't decide on it.
Right. I
Right.
mean, we came to an agreement as to what
so the
the roundabout, which, what is.
up to the 100 is what I had in my notes, but do we want to say like up to 50,000 in utilities and 50,000 in taxes for Panos? Do you want to say up to 50,000 total? Like, I just need to know the breakdown before they type up the paperwork. And then obviously the next thing on the agenda is gonna be Metal Wholesale. They need more, or would like to see more refund of 75% of their taxes like the other people do, but
These can't be the same, even though there's two different items on the agenda. We can't have the same result for both of these businesses.
you can do, yeah, you can.
We could.
You can do whatever you want.
I'm not saying we should, I just.
Yeah, no, yeah.
What did we do for the other one?
Which
Did we
one?
give them utilities and everything on the other ones? Or did we?
Subway, we did some utilities. Family Dollar, we did some utilities. The rest of them are mostly taxes, like 75% of a formula. You know, a portion of their taxes refunded after they pay them for usually up to 10 years, or the dollar amount, whichever occurs first.
That's kind of what I remember.
Yes.
Yep. Yep. So I just, like I said, I didn't get an actual council approval on how we wanted to structure it, but we had to start with
obviously the, questionnaires, making sure that they're gonna provide jobs.
Is one of them
and stuff
that
like that.
easier for you guys, isn't it? So the 75% up to a certain amount for 10 years, is that easier than the utilities? Or no, the utilities is easier.
For me, I feel like the utilities, but they're the guys putting them in. I mean, at the end of the day, when we have to buy the stuff and put it in anyways, the question is, are we gonna then in turn bill them for reimbursement? Or do we wanna, say, I mean, the rest is just cash. At the end of the day, they pay their property taxes, they turn in a receipt, whatever the percentage is for the year brought down from the state level. So like right now, it's, a formula where I divide it by like 1,000, take it times 0.39, and then it turns out to be about, half or 3/4 of what their actual property taxes are usually.
Did you mention a dollar amount for the utilities there? Did I?
So SKP, it looks like it's gonna be around $50,000, and metal wholesale, sorry, wrong pile. Metal wholesale is not very much at all. And they are currently leasing or buying it on contract, so Herman Coons will have to be as part of it like we did with Fowler's and, his dad.
So it sounds like on SKP, we should do utilities and taxes for them.
Yeah.
Okay,
50/50.
yes.
Yeah. I kind of like that idea. If that's okay with them.
Well, they're gonna be thankful for any of
They're
it,
gonna-
otherwise they're gonna pay it all 100%.
50 for 10 years and what, up to like a
Like 50,000 or 50%? Like, what's the total dollar amount we want to give?
60,000 in utilities and 50,000 in taxes?
It's up to you. You can do anything, 5,000 in taxes, 50 in utilities. You can do whatever amount, but we'll put the disclosure in that if there aren't TIF funds available, then we're not obligated to pay.
So for 10 years.
Either one of those.
Right.
If there's not TIF funds available, we aren't paying for utilities or taxes.
So it's up to 50.
Well, the utilities, they're gonna be done now. So essentially, we're gonna hook it all up and then instead of charging them, we're gonna eat the cost, but we can TIF debt certify those costs.
So
So,
that's what we should do.
To get
At least
paid
for 50,000.
Yeah.
so 50,000,
50,000 in forgivable utilities, it sounds like. So we'll do that immediately, right?
after the paperwork's done, yeah.
Yeah, and then what amount do you want to give on?
Installation of utilities.
What do you want to do? What total dollar do you guys want to do
Yeah.
total for SKP? Is it are we doing 100 or I think we talked about a little bit more, didn't we?
We talked about.
Yeah, it's up to you. You can do whatever
125
you
or
want.
something like
Like the last one we did was 27,000 total. So, I mean, you can,
How many employees are each one of these businesses gonna have when they're up and running, do you think?
so Stike's gonna guarantee at least an additional 5, and he already has 5. And then metal wholesale is 15 over the next 5 years additional at minimum. So,
3 a year.
at minimum.
May I say something? For Stike's, Iowa IEDA has a manufacturing 4.0, manufacturing grant for tech grant, basically, which he would qualify for. That's a $25,000 for purchase of specialized hardware and software for Industry 4.0 technologies, and also a grant up to $50,000 for the purchase of machinery and equipment. So that's a dollar per dollar match grant too, that he could do additionally. I don't know how that funding stack looks with this included instead of, in addition to, or whatever, but the city would have to be at least write a letter on that, if not be expected to help with funding for that too. So I'm just throwing that out there as part of a potential funding stack for that type of manufacturing.
What total dollar do you want for us? What's the biggest one we've done?
We did 130 for M3 Fab.
Okay.
That's the highest.
That's what.
The lowest
stuck in
we've
my
done is
head was
27,000.
130.
Yeah, that's what,
It wouldn't be,
so they would get 50,000 utilities and 80,000 towards tax.
If you want to, you can do whatever amount you guys want.
But the 80,000 is over 10 years, so they get
You
8,000.
can pick the term as well. Most of them are
There's
10
a
years.
tax bill, right, around 8,000.
Not very many of them get through. They usually get to the term before they get to the
Okay.
impact, usually. Not always.
Are you guys fine with that? 50,000 towards utilities and 80,000, whatever that, you don't get the whole 80 first year, right? They get,
No, they have to pay their property taxes every 6 months
Yes.
or once a year. I do a formula and then it's 75% of that.
okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
And they'll have to pay their taxes first to get reimbursed.
Okay, so what we're approving, we're voting on approving moving forward using those figures.
Yep.
Whatever you guys want to make a motion for.
So moved.
Second it. For item A. 6A.
Jay,
Yes.
Earl,
Yes.
Jennifer,
yes,
Don,
Yes.
We're moving forward with offering a development agreement with Middle Wholesale. So if I heard you right, they don't really care about utilities. We should just do the whole 130.
We just didn't have to put any utilities there. It was all set up.
Because their building's already done.
They should just be towards the taxes then, I would say.
It's up to you.
Up to 100,
Over 10 years.
up to 130,000, up to 10 years,
Whatever you want.
total 100, that they'll never get.
And did we put a 10-year stipulation on the
Yes.
first one?
Yes.
So I have 50,000 forgivable installation of utilities only.
Yep.
Because we don't want them to ask us for their
Right.
bill to be paid in 10
Right.
years. 50,000 cash towards the TIF property tax piece up to 10 years, whichever occurs first is when the deadline is. So if
That
they
was
get
on
to
the
10 years and we haven't paid all that out,
That's the
then
first
they don't
one.
get their money.
SKP.
That's the first one.
Well, it should have been
If they
80.
get
Should
to
have been
their-
80,000.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, yeah, 80, sorry, for the cash piece.
Okay,
If they get to the cash piece before the 10 years is up, then it's done at whenever they hit their.
Right. so I think for this next one, there is no, you should just do up to 130,000.
Was there any utilities for metal? Not very much,
Yeah,
right?
yes,
So 2,000,
that was it.
is that all we got? So it looks like Metal Wholesale's estimate's only $2,200 for a utility upgrade for a new, bigger gas meter. Is all the departments thought that they would.
Yeah.
Which they can pay for that if you want to do
If
taxes.
they're doing tax savings, they can pay.
Yeah.
I'll make that motion, I guess.
So 130 cash
Yeah.
to funds available for property.
I'll second it.
Don,
70.
Yes.
Jay,
Yes.
Earl,
Yes.
Jennifer,
yes,
Approve fiscal year 25, July through September, public safety payment in amount of $58,302.28.
So this is our 40% of the actual expenses of the dispatcher expenses that we cover. So we have a 2080 about.
Motion approved.
Second.
Earl.
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Jay,
Yes.
Jennifer,
yes,
Approve invoices from Hours Cooney for SRF reimbursement in the amount of $31,157.24 for the work done with the SRF amendment.
That's the engineering fees that it costs to redo the SRF piece to get it reimbursed back for a portion of the sidewalks.
Move to approve.
Jennifer,
yes,
Jay,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Earl,
Yes.
That public hearing for 7 PM, November 21st, 2024, to amend chapter 69 of the code of ordinances of the city of Bloomfield, Iowa by amending restrictions on off-street parking and establishing penalties.
Motion to approve.
Jay,
Yes.
Jennifer,
yes,
Earl,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Set public hearing for 7 PM, November 21st, 2024, to amend chapter 69.07 of the code of ordinances of the city of Bloomfield, Iowa by amending the restrictions on parking
Motion to approve.
Second,
Don,
yes.
Earl,
Yes.
Jake,
Yes.
Jennifer,
yes,
Reappoint John Schroeder, who I did contact, so we're not just blindly doing it, to the Airport Commission with the term ending November 2030.
Motion to approve.
Second,
Earl,
Yes.
Jennifer,
yes,
Don,
yes.
Jake,
Yes.
Approve invoice in the amount of $17,485.15 for fiscal year 25 equipment payment to John Deere Financial.
This is an annual payment.
It is.
Yes.
Okay.
Two more
So-
left,
Two more left.
more left.
Two more left. Make a motion to approve that item.
Second.
Jake,
Yes.
Jennifer,
yes,
Earl,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Approve invoice in the amount of $11,048 to Norris Asphalt for East Street repairs.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Jennifer,
yes,
Earl,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Jake,
Yes.
Public comments.
I have a question to Rusty on that. Did we use the same procedure for East Street repairs that they used on the Greggsville Road? Because the surface looks like it's turning out to be about the same.
No, all we did was they milled down the existing pavement that was there and the old overlay and just basically turned it into a gravel road.
Okay, so there's nothing there to hold the, there's no
Not
oil
right
or
now, no. Hopefully.
any liquid or semi-liquid to hold the gravel in place.
No, they rolled it in really good, so it's packed in good. I think it'll hold up better than most roads. But that's our goal in the future to go overlay it with our next road project.
Public comments, anyone else? Joe?
The only thing I have is, we do have two big projects, the airport and the square for asphalt. So if you have anything else for the budget for next year that you really would like to see done, I need those as soon as possible.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Rusty?
Just a few things. They're just about finished up with the street, Smith Street out at DC Tire. They put it in today, so it should be all done tomorrow and open, completely open. West Trailer Park, if you haven't been by up on Gregory, I believe they tore out the last one that was pretty well jumped. Got it tore out yesterday. Started setting pads for more trailers to come in. They're putting in all new stuff. So nice to see that cleaned up. We had a sewer issue over on Pine Street, and it should be all cleaned up the first of the week. And the park building is being built. Our new park building is going up, started this morning, and it will move fast. Those guys move fast.
Thank you. Tim?
Just a couple of things. I have been working with 4 different companies. I found that, or organizations that help with city strategic planning. And I finally gotten all the proposals. So we've been having Zoom meetings and kind of putting details in and taking things out so that I'll be able to present those options as I talk to you guys each individually about a particular project. So just getting some numbers together and looking at the best companies for that. I'm also working with actually a couple more buildings downtown that have to have their facades done. They've had
what?
their facades done. It's not aesthetics, it's they've had engineers come in and there's real issues. So we'll get into that a little bit further, but we're going through that process right now, finishing up that work and talking with the engineer to find out how serious it is. So I'll let you know more about that as soon as I know about it.
Thank you. You're welcome. Council updates? All right, mayor comments. First of all, I'd like to congratulate Zach on the win. He will be leaving us and he will be missed, but he's not going far. He's just gonna put a different uniform on.
Stick around to help with whatever you need.
You bet. But appreciate everything you've done as as a cop and as the leader, and look forward to being buzzed into a few meetings out there. So
I appreciate that.
you bet. And I know you'll do a good job with Chase, getting him up to speed, and looking forward to that transition, so.
Yeah, I think somebody mentioned it last, I already mentioned it, but we appreciate the traffic guidance that you guys provided for trick or treat night.
Oh, yeah. And I just enjoy that.
Went pretty well. I thought it went pretty well. Yeah. I don't know if we
Yeah, we had no issues.
No.
No issues at all.
don't see any complaints from the motorists, but you do a good job.
Thank you. Another comment I would like to make, nothing's prompted this, but I just wanted to remind the council that in the public comments section, usually the person has 2 to 3 minutes to make their comments. We are not supposed to speak to them and we are not supposed to take any action on anything they say. So not saying anything, I'm just reminding the council. And then my last but not least is we are currently in a bargaining session with the union. It's come to my attention that maybe certain individuals are reaching out to council people that are not on the bargaining committee. So if that happens, I would kindly ask you to remind them there is a committee and those are the only people they should be speaking to. So, just remember that if you are contacted by any union eligible people that are wanting to talk about anything with their contract, you should say that I can't speak to you. We have a committee and they will make our proposal to our committee and then the committee will review and negotiate and come back with a final suggestion for each and every one of you council people to approve. So I've had 24 hours to think of all 3 of those things, so I'm done now for one. That's all my comments for tonight.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Oh, yeah, you already made the
Earl?
motion.
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Jay?
Yes.
Jennifer?
yes.